Hello everyone, I hope you're doing so well today. Lately, work has been kicking my butt, and I'm still in the middle of completely cleaning out and redoing my room. It's stressful times like this that make me so thankful for my hobbies. Reading manga, especially over the past few weeks, has felt like a balm to soothe my soul, a break from life's challenges. I had such a good time reading all of these books, and I'm so excited to chat about them with you today. I picked up a lot of the manga during my shopping trip to Barnes & Noble a few weeks ago. If you watch that vlog, you can finally find out what caught my eye that day. As usual, I'm starting with the books that I'm continuing and then moving on to new books in my collection. Without further ado, let's go! Well, up first, a non-book item. I picked up the Spirited Away steelbook while I was at Barnes & Noble. Honestly, I don't buy DVDs and Blu-rays that often, but after watching Valkei Inc.'s videos for so long, I felt really inspired to slowly build a collection of my favorite anime. Naturally, I'm a little behind because a lot of the special editions of my favorite anime are now out of print, but it's fine. Better late than never. I do own some anime already, but I'm really excited to expand my collection. This steelbook was actually on sale, so I thought it'd be perfect for my impulsive decision. I'm pretty sure all of the Ghibli steelbooks together form a beautiful rainbow gradient, but I probably won't buy all of them, just the ones for my favorite films. Up first for manga, I picked up volume 2 of the manga adaptation of The Case Files of Jeweler Richard by Akatsuki Mika, Tsujimura Nanako, and Yukihiro Utako. I was so charmed and enamored by volume 1, so I knew I needed to pick up volume 2 as soon as I could. This manga is absolutely amazing. I love it so much, and I could not put this volume down at all. And once again, I learned so much about gemstones. It feels like it's been a while since I've been so genuinely captivated by a manga, and I felt so refreshed reading it. Like the previous volume, this one also had 2 different cases. The first one focused on amethysts, and I've always thought amethysts were so beautiful, so I really enjoyed learning about them this time around. We were also treated to a flustered Richard, and I could not ask for anything more than that. He is so cute. He and Seigi make such a funny pair, and I really love how they treat each other. I just had such a good time reading this volume. I love all of the characters that get introduced with each case. All of their stories are just so interesting and moving. Volume 1 was already so good, so I couldn't imagine how Volume 2 could be better. But the manga is maintaining that same level of excellence, and I'm so thankful for that. I seriously can't wait for Volume 3 to come out, and for the first volume of the novel to come out too. I will devour it all. Next, I picked up volumes 20, 21, and 22 of my beloved Natsume's Book of Friends by Midorikawa Yuki. I mentioned this in my shopping vlog, but I bought these in a panic. I am slowly buying all of the volumes of the manga, and a few weeks ago I thought, hey, it's been a while since I picked up some volumes, I should do that now. These volumes have been out of stock on Right Stuf for some time now, but I thought that was no big deal given the state of things. I checked Book Depository next, and still nothing. Okay, it's fine, I'm just going to move down my list. Then I checked Amazon. Not my preferred place to shop for manga, but beggars can't be choosers. Lo and behold, only third-party sellers had these 3 volumes. The rational side of me knows that doesn't mean anything, it'll all be reprinted soon anyway. But the irrational side of me grabbed my bag and went shopping. These volumes weren't in stock at the physical Barnes & Noble location that I went to, but they were in stock online, so I just ordered them there. Why didn't I place the order before leaving my home? Who knows? Well, my tangent is over. I'm really happy to continue this manga. As some of you know, Natsume's Book of Friends is one of my all-time favorite anime. It's also one of my all-time favorite manga. It's so near and dear to my heart, and any day that has more Natsume in it is a good day in my book. As of now, I just need to pick up 23, 24, and 26. Next, I picked up volumes 3 and 4 of Love Me, Love Me Not by Sakisaka Io. I've bought and read up to volume 8 in Japanese, and I absolutely love this manga. Easily one of my absolute favorite shoujo. Yuna and Ryo are one of my all-time favorite manga couples. They are so cute, and Sakisaka is always on point. She never misses. The reason why I stopped buying it was that the Japanese Volume 8 came out around the time I took my long break because of life things, and I wasn't really buying manga or doing anything during that time, which is a shame, I know. But recently I've just been in the mood to see how the story wraps up, so I decided to start picking it up again in English this time. I am so excited to continue this manga. Because I've already bought a lot of books this month on top of buying so much new furniture for my room, I didn't buy that many volumes of Love Me Not. But I hope I can pick up the rest soon and finish it. I can't wait, it's going to be amazing. Next, I picked up Volume 2 of Magus of the Library by Izumi Mitsu. I loved Volume 1 so much, so I'm really excited to be able to continue the manga now. It's honestly been a while since I read Volume 1, and I probably should have reread it first, but I was so eager to dive into Volume 2. This manga is just as amazing as I remember. Theo is still the sweetest character ever. The art is still some of the prettiest I've ever seen. It's just absolutely perfect. It feels as though every time I read this manga, I'm left feeling so healed and rejuvenated. It's such a great feeling. It also feels like I'm always learning so many new things. For example, I learned the right way to pull a book off the shelves this time. How cool is that? I felt so at home while reading this volume. I also really appreciated the life lesson in one of the earlier chapters about how if we shy away from new or unfamiliar things, we're missing out on what could be a great experience. It actually made me want to explore new genres. I seriously need someone like Theo in my life. We all do. But for now, reading about his journey and all of his interactions in his life are enough for me. Next, I picked up another absolute favorite manga of mine, Volume 2 of Therapy Game Restart by Hinohara Meguru. I devoured this volume. I don't think I've ever ripped open a package so fast just to read a manga. For me, the real treasure of this volume was seeing Shizuma get flustered. He is so adorable. I love how sincere he is in everything he does. He and Minato are already dating, and the fact that he's only now considering if he's too much is just so cute. He must be protected at all costs. When I got to the meat of this volume, aka the angst, it hurt so much. I love how the manga has been exploring the different ways a couple needs to balance and prioritize their needs. In this volume, it was learning about how to prioritize one's career. I love seeing this power couple overcome their challenges and squabbles, but at the same time, I don't want them to struggle. I want them to be happy. None of this is as angsty as I'm making it seem, by the way. I just love being dramatic. In this volume, we also got to see just how well Minato and Shizuma understand each other, like how Shizuma knows Minato is really prickly and hard to please, and how Minato knows Shizuma would never be late without a good reason. And it's interesting seeing how despite how much they love and trust each other, that it's still easy to feel a little disappointed at times. It's still easy to stumble with their feelings. There are so many layers to their love, and it all felt so realistic too. I also just have to put it out there, I loved all of the panels of Minato and Shizuma just unabashedly laughing and smiling together. It's the most precious sight in the world. My only source of sadness right now is that I have absolutely no idea when Volume 3 is coming out. I didn't see it on CD Japan or Amazon Japan, but funny enough, I saw a release date for the German edition. I have no idea what that means for me, but I'm definitely keeping an eye out so I can order Volume 3 as soon as possible. Of course, I also needed to pick up Volume 4 of Black or White by Sachimo. I wish these volumes were longer. Look at how thin this one was. I need more. I gotta say though, Shige's jealousy really is not cute anymore. But, you know, I guess it's important for Shin to see the different sides of his partner, the duality of this man. It's a little hard for me to put my thoughts into words for this volume. I still adore Shin and Shige's relationship, I say this with every volume, but wow, they love each other so much, even if that love manifests in possessive ways. I love how they're seriously committed to working hard both for each other and for themselves. I think that latter part was very important for them to learn. It's admirable to want to be better for your lover, but you can't sacrifice yourself along the way. So it's really touching seeing Shin try out new types of roles, and Shige actually putting effort into his acting to make sure he doesn't lose his touch. I still really do enjoy this manga, but it's moving a bit too slow for me. I think that's partly because of the wait time and the volume length. I'm going to try rereading all 4 volumes before volume 5 comes out, just to see how I feel about the pacing of the story that way. Anyway, this was another good volume. I really hope these two can figure out how to make their relationship and their careers work for them, and that they can be happy without worrying too much. I don't know. We'll see what volume 5 has to offer. Next, onto some danmei novels that I'm continuing. Up first, volume 3 of the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation by mdzs. Oh boy, what to say about this volume. Honestly, I haven't started reading it yet. I was so excited to do so, but it seems like every time there's a new volume of the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, it comes with new errors too. This time around I saw that there was an issue with the information added in the character glossaries, as well as the usual slew of typos. On their own, these are definitely small, but when they add up, it just makes me a little sad and unmotivated to read. Am I dramatic? Possibly, but I can't help it. I hope 7 Seas can actually put a little more effort into making these releases as wonderful and as accurate as they were meant to be. I don't think that's too much to ask for. I will still crack into this book soon because I absolutely love the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation dearly, and I can't wait to read more. I also picked up volume 5 of the Vietnamese edition of Heaven Official's Blessing, also by mdzs. I've said this once, I've said it countless times, but Kampong Books has the nicest covers. Their books are seriously so beautiful. This cover also just makes me feel a touch emotional. At this point, it feels like I'm just unconsciously ordering these books each time a new volume is announced. My brain is just on autopilot. New Heaven Official's Blessing book, immediately join a group order. I also picked up a few volumes of The Husky and His White Cat shizun by Meat Bun. I have the first 3 volumes of the Vietnamese edition. Some of you may know that I absolutely adore this novel. Ran Wan are some of my favorite characters. I originally did not plan to buy the Vietnamese edition. I'm not sure why, but I obviously changed my mind. The hardcover versions of volumes 1 and 2 are not available anymore, so I had to get the softcover ones, in case you're wondering. These covers are so beautiful regardless. I am just so captivated by them. I absolutely can't wait to reread this novel in English when that edition comes out in the fall. I've been hyping up Arha for a long time now, and I'm really excited and nervous for 2 of my friends to check it out. They're my dear friends and my go-to people for screaming about all things BL, and I just need to know their thoughts. It's gonna be great. Finally, onto all of the new books in my collection. A series that needs no introduction, I picked up volume 1 of the 20th anniversary edition of Bleach. Not much needs to be said here either. I am a huge fan of this manga and anime. I remember watching it on Adult Swim back in, I think 2006, which was 16 years ago. That is over half my life. It's kind of cool acknowledging that I've been a fan of a series for so long. To this day, Ichigo is one of my favorite protagonists. Orihime is one of my absolute favorite manga characters. I remember playing Bleach: The Blade of Fate with my classmates at school. I remember collecting the physical Shonen Jump magazine and seeing Bleach in it. My very first YouTube channel was actually Bleach inspired too, which is kind of funny. So Bleach is new to my collection, but obviously not new to me. But yeah, because I love Bleach so much, I knew I had to pick this up. This cover is just so pretty. It's a little thinner than I expected though, but it doesn't feel any different from a standard Shonen Jump volume. If I'm ever in the mood to reread my favorite Bleach chapters, I just do so on the Viz Media app, so it never occurred to me to buy the volumes physically. But I don't know, I'm feeling kind of sentimental right now, so I might try buying some of the volumes with my favorite covers. I also cannot wait for the return of the anime. It's going to be amazing! Up next, a manga I've wanted to continue for so long. I picked up volume 1 of the deluxe edition of The Girl from the Other Side by Nagabe. I own a copy of the normal edition of volume 1, which I read many years ago, and I was so charmed by it. I love Nagabe's style of storytelling, but you know, things happen, like with Love Me Not, and I didn't continue the manga. And then recently it was out of stock everywhere, and I was so sad. I am so happy there's a new edition now. It's seriously so beautiful. Every single detail is immaculate. As you can imagine, this is a little expensive, but I think it's absolutely worth the price. The deluxe edition contains the first 3 volumes, and the price is basically the price of 3 volumes, except the quality is much higher. Well, sort of. I'm not sure if this is a printing error or an intentional artistic choice, but sometimes it was hard to see anything clearly because some of the panels were so dark. The thing is, I could totally believe this is intentional because it added so much moodiness and gloom to an already bleak setting. On to the manga itself, I absolutely adored it. I am so glad I reread volume 1 because I completely forgot everything aside from that one scene with Shiva and the umbrella. A surprise to no one, within the first few pages, I was so charmed by this little girl and I would do anything for her. Much like teacher themselves, probably. I know I'm stating the obvious, but she is so cute. I could not put this volume down. It was the perfect blend of mysterious, moody, dark, sweet, funny, and light. I'm not sure how a manga can be all of that at the same time, but this one is. I am so hooked and so curious about what's going to happen to Shiva, so curious about this world. I've heard some not so good things about the finale of this manga, but I'm just going to enjoy the ride for as long as I can. Nagabe is seriously so skilled. I love his art so much, his character designs, his writing, everything. It feels like every time I read one of his manga, I'm just so enchanted by it. I would love to live in a world illustrated by him. Up next, I picked up Yokohama Kaidashi Kikou by Ashina Hitoshi. As a self-proclaimed slice-of-life and iyashikei expert, I have always wanted to read this manga. Alongside manga like Arya, Yokohama Kaidashi Kikou is considered the gold standard of the healing genre. When I heard it was being translated and printed into English, I was so excited. This manga sounds perfect for me. There's actually another more special reason why I wanted to pick this up. One of my dearest manga friends loves this manga. He adores it so much. He's been hyping this up for as long as I've known him, which is years at this point. So I was so happy that he can collect this manga now too. This cover is so beautiful. I really love the design of the title. It's so pretty. And the cover itself has an almost iridescent quality to it. Truly so pretty. I do love that the volume includes an illustration gallery, but I kind of wish the gallery was printed on photo paper. I think it would have made this book extra special. Before buying Yokohama Kaidashi Kikou, I actually had no idea what the premise was. Like, I did not know this was set in a post-cataclysmic Japan. I normally would never read a story like that, so it's kind of fortunate that I did not know the details before buying the manga, because I seriously would have missed out on something so beautiful. Again, remembering what I learned from Theo and Magus of the library earlier. I think the post-apocalyptic setting actually makes this manga even better. The fact that there can be so many peaceful and gentle moments like the ones in this manga, despite the slow decline of society, is pretty lovely, I think. That quiet and calm moments can exist no matter what has happened in your past is hopeful. I certainly felt very comforted by that. and I totally understand why so many people love this series. This manga is perfect. I adore Alpha, and I had to keep reminding myself that she's a robot. A very delightful one. I'm so glad I picked this manga up and I gave it a chance. I'm definitely going to enjoy slowly finishing this volume. Up next, I picked up Escape Journey by Tanaka Ogeretsu. I remember when this volume first came out a few years ago, my eyes were immediately drawn to the highlighter levels of intensity of this cover. Seriously, what a bold choice. I remember thinking it was pretty tacky back then, but now I love it. It's such a fun cover, and there's absolutely no way to hide what you're reading. Anyway, I was so excited to pick this manga up after years, and I actually dove into it that same night. I was feeling pretty sleepy, but do you ever just get that intense feeling of, I must read this right now? That's how I felt. So just me and my little highlighter orange book in the middle of the night. I am a big fan of exes to lovers as a trope. Books like Austen's Persuasion, I live for them. On to the manga itself, I don't know where to begin. It definitely has all of the angst that comes with exes to lovers. There's wistfulness and longing, and I absolutely loved that. This manga also seriously kept me on the edge of my seat. I just needed to know what exactly happened between Taichi and Naoto. In the beginning, we do learn that Naoto felt that they got along better as friends than lovers, but I was so curious about what went wrong. Oh my goodness, but when we got to that part of the volume, I regretted it instantly. It made me so sad. I was genuinely a little terrified. Like, keep these guys away from each other until they figure their shit out. When they finally talked everything out, I let out the biggest sigh of relief. I was so happy for them. As you can imagine, the emotional turmoil in this manga was nuts, but the payoff was worth it. I'm pretty sure there are 3 volumes in this series, so I was actually surprised to see everything get wrapped up neatly in this one volume. It makes me very curious about what the next volumes will be about because they've clearly already figured everything out here. Overall, this manga really took me for a ride, but I did enjoy it, even the parts that shocked me. I probably should reread it when I'm actually alert and not sleepy. On to all of the novels I picked up. Up first, I got volumes 4 and 5 of the Taiwanese edition of Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint by Xing Xiong. I made a separate unboxing video for these books a few weeks ago, where I gushed about how much I love this novel. If you want to hear my rambles, definitely check that video out instead. Omniscient Reader is absolutely one of my favorite stories, and these books are so nice. I've also made some very dear friends in this fandom, which also took me by surprise. I don't make new friends that often, but the Omniscient Reader fandom is just so sweet. I'm actually also participating in a weekly book club with them right now, where we're rereading the novel together, and I'm having a blast. Next, I picked up another Korean novel, Spring the Color of Love by Tepari. I also have volume 1 of the manhwa adaptation that was illustrated by Park Ji-an. Isn't this box set one of the prettiest things you have ever seen? This box set also came with a ton of merch, and I actually wanted to make an unboxing video for these books a few weeks ago. Maybe I'll make a short instead. I've been reading the manhwa on Manta, and it's one of my highlights of the week. Park Ji-an is one of my all-time favorite manhwa creators, so I was immediately drawn to it for that reason. But I actually realized that I've read quite a few manhwa adaptations of Tepari's novels. From them, I'm also reading Downpour and The Words in Your Snare, but those are illustrated by different artists. Spring the Color of Love is a bit slow at times, but it has the perfect amount of angst and longing. For me, that means just enough to make it hurt, but not enough to destroy my soul. I absolutely love the trope of separating lovers, and when they reconnect, they're different people. I just find it so fascinating when two people get to know each other all over again and rewrite what they originally knew about each other. I haven't read the novel yet. I need to brush up on my Korean first, but my only complaint about the series is that I wish the manhwa chapters were a bit longer. They feel way too short sometimes. Next, I picked up a couple danmei novels. Up first, I have I Ship My Adversary and Me, or I Ship My Rival and Me by PEPA. This novel is comedy gold. I am actually currently keeping up with the manhwa adaptation on Bilibili. I actually talked about this manhwa a lot in my top 10 reads of 2021. I tried reading the novel with a machine translator, but I put that on hold for the time being. Given the fact that I considered this one of the best things I read last year, I'm sure you can guess how fond I am of I Ship My Adversary and Me. It's seriously such a funny rom-com. I feel like I made my smile lines much worse while reading the manhwa. The main character is hilarious. He is the perfect representation of how fans view their idols, but the fact that he is an idol himself and a fan of his own ship just makes me laugh so hard. I wanted to support the author, so I bought a physical copy of the novel. I may go back and try to read it again. There have been some whispers of a rumor that it might be picked up by an English publisher, and I really hope that's true. Machine translations are rough, to say the least. If you know Chinese, or if you don't mind machine translating, you can actually read this novel for free on Changpei Literature's website. And finally, I picked up Assistant Architect by Shihe Qingling. This is another one of those novels that really saved me during the pandemic. This novel hits really close to home. Broadly speaking, it's about adulthood, what to do with your life after graduating from school. Do you stay in the industry you love or try something new? How do you even get a job that you love? And how do you act once you have that job? As you probably guessed from the title, the main character is a budding architect. And it was so rewarding reading about how he struggled but ultimately solidified his dream, got his shit together, and learned about the real world through his job at the firm. This novel was so realistic in its depiction of entering the workforce that I actually learned a lot while reading it. It made me feel really motivated to get my act together too. It also made me want more for myself, which is a very powerful feeling. I love that architecture was the forefront of the novel. Romance does take a bit of a backseat, but that's how life goes too, especially when you're starting out your career. If you like office romances and a slow burn, you cannot go wrong here. This novel is on Xinjiang's website. One thing that I love about danmei novels is that they are ridiculously cheap to buy. The price of an entire chapter on Xinjiang comes out to, I think, 3 cents. You cannot beat a price like that. Which is all to say, if you want to get into reading danmei novels, it is fortunately very easy to support authors, so please do so. In the meantime though, I've been spamming 7Cs with the hopes of getting more novels licensed in English. With that, we are at the end of yet another manga haul. I am just so thankful for books. I don't go out of my way to pick meaningful books, but somewhere along the line, every book I've ever read has shaped and changed me a little bit, and I'm better because of them. I hope you also read or watched or listened to something great recently. I hope you're safe, happy, and healthy. I shall see you again soon.